I'm Tiffany Slowinski here with Bridgewater Lifestyle, and today we're interviewing Bonni R. Kole at Duke Island Park. We've got a lot of kids out here playing. My children are behind us, so if anybody runs up yelling "Mommy" or gets in the middle of this video,
It's real.
It's real. This is real life.
TV, right?
This is reality TV. The kids had a half day of school today, and so they needed to be here with me while I am filming this going into the holiday weekend.
Absolutely.
But the reason we wanted to meet today is with this new school year starting, a very, very unique school year.
To say the least. To say the least.
And I'm a parent who actually has a special needs child myself.
Right.
I thought that parents out there, especially particularly ones in the special ed world, might appreciate some of your services and advice that you have to offer right now as we head into this school year. So we'll kind of kick it off. Can you tell us a little bit about your advocacy business and what that entails?
An educational advocate, which is different than an attorney. I want to put it right out there. I am not an attorney. I am an educational advocate. But I will tell you the difference, and I will tell you where we intersect. An educational advocate is someone who is actually the spokesperson for a family and their kids or kid when there's either don't have a meeting of the minds between the school and the home.
And that never happens.
It never happens. Never happens. Perhaps you feel your child should be getting some services that they're not getting. Maybe you don't like the services that they are getting. You don't think they're appropriate. Maybe the school has some concerns and they're reaching out to you, and I've seen parents get upset over that. Your kids are your kids. That doesn't sound profound, but it really is. Because nothing in my line of work and in my years of being a parent, nothing matches the responsibilities, and our emotions get in the way. And because our emotions get in the way, and they should, you need, in my opinion, an advocate who can be objective. I care very much about my client families, but I'm able to take a step back, look at the picture, understand teacher speak, education speak, understanding what it really means, and then deconstructing it for my client families, for the kids. And what makes me, I think, kind of unique is I don't believe in confrontation. Because a lot of times my families are at their wit's end and they're like, you got to do something, Bonni. And, well, let's first calm down. Let's see what we're really dealing with. And I have found in all my years, when you work together and speak to each other and keep reminding everyone at the table, we're here about the child. We're here about the child. And so that's what I do. If it's a matter of IEP services that are not being delivered, or IEP services that are being delivered maybe not in the most effective way, we take a second look, advocating for whatever the child needs academically, and let's not forget social emotional learning. It's becoming a big topic. It has been something I have worked with closely for over 10 years, working with at-risk kids, adolescents and younger, since 2006 actually. But I've worked with all kinds of children, from gifted and talented to kids who are nonverbal. And I know how parents feel, and they want the best for their kids, and I want the best for their kids. So I don't go in a confrontational manner, but there are times when you have to come in and there's a lawyer on the case already. Or people will reach out to me, do you know a lawyer? Well, here's an example. A lawyer and I would collaborate if there were also custody issues. And custody issues can get dicey. There's a lot more involved with that, emotions and whatever. I am not an attorney. I am not a family law attorney or any other kind of attorney. So sometimes attorneys reach out to me, and that's pretty much how I get involved, working with the legal experts. But the difference is, if it's really school-based and academic-based, you're free to go to a lawyer, you're free to go to an educational advocate. The fact of the matter is, and I'm only speaking for myself, this is not global, I know the system. I know how teachers think, I know how administrators think. I've been an administrator, I've been a teacher. I've done it pretty much every point you can, so there's no surprises. The surprises come in when you start to have the tangential custodial issues and other issues along those lines. But I'm happy to work with attorneys, but that's the big difference. I am not licensed to practice law, and I come to you as a certificated teacher and administrator.
That was actually going to be my next question. Could you give us a little info on your background?
My background, okay. So I hold 6 licenses in the state of New Jersey. Here they come. I have a certificate of eligibility as a principal. I am a licensed supervisor. I am a licensed reading specialist, which is different than a teacher of reading, which I also have a license as a teacher of reading. Reading specialist is more clinical, getting into the reading disabilities and figuring it out and doing diagnostic testing. I'm also an elementary school teacher. I am also a social studies teacher. Is that 6?
I lost count.
Well, that's
So
all
you're
right.
not a math teacher.
Well, funny enough, under my K-8, the old wonderful K-8 elementary, I started my career as a middle school math and science teacher.
Oh, I didn't know
and,
that.
See, and you're saying, but wait a minute, your language arts, yes, that is very true. But that was the job that was available. I was a product of the New Jersey Alternate Route Certification Program. I am a Dodge Fellow for having demonstrated excellence in pursuit of that certification. And so, a wonderful school no longer with us, Christ the King, in Manville, they needed a math and science teacher. And I said, okay, can you do it? Can I do it? And you know what? I could do it. And it was one of the best first jobs one could ever ask for, because I had a first career in corporate. So I bring that to my classroom practice as well. So I have taught all the content area. And with math, I found myself teaching it like an English teacher. And it was great for the kids who really didn't get math. And I wound up being hired again and again up the ladder into Blue Ribbon Districts as a middle school math teacher. Who would have thought, right? And then I was invited to join a development team at a major publisher to develop a math program, K-6. And that's when I sat there and said, wait a minute, I'm good at this, but I want to do language arts. And that's when I decided to become a reading specialist, and everything turned around. Also, this is going to be very interesting. I think the audience might find this really fun. I've done so many things in education, but the thing that gets everyone, I was the lead teacher backstage at the Broadway show Matilda.
That's interesting.
See, I told you. Yep, I was there from the beginning of rehearsals till when we went into our preview period, and then a school called me and they said, can you start immediately? I said, no, we're in previews. And when can you start? And I figured it out, and I was talking all about, well, here's where we are, and you know, the kids need me and whatever. And so I stayed until the kids were ready to really get into those previews without major shifts backstage with our school. And I got to opening night, and it was a blast. It was a blast. So, and that was a real fun thing. And that's what people think of. Oh my gosh, you taught on Broadway. Yes, I taught on Broadway.
Now this year, with all the virtual school going on and everything with COVID, how do you think IEPs might look a little different?
Well,
And we should probably answer what an IEP is.
an
for people who might
IEP is
not
an
know.
individual educational plan. It is a federal document. It is a specific plan for children of special needs, and it lays out everything that the school is to deliver in order to meet the child's needs under a free and appropriate public education. Now, you may have variations of this document in private schools and faith-based schools. I think it depends on what the mindset is of those particular schools. But in any event, it says to the district, it says to the administration, and it says to the teachers, this is what collectively we decided this child needs. And so there's evaluations that have taken place, and it is a team effort, and part of that effort comes with the parents. But I do want to say something, Tiffany. I think it's really important. Prior to an IEP, there's also the intervention and referral service, which is kind of like a pre-step. So if you're suspecting, and I say this to the parents and the guardians and all who are listening out there, if you suspect there's a learning problem, and we can talk about what that looks like, reach out to your school, because they also need to follow the process of I&RS, which is Intervention and Referral Service. And that's a collection of a meeting of the minds on on the school level in a little bit more of an unofficial capacity so that you can come up with strategies and see if they work. If they don't work, okay, then we move into a more formalized evaluation process, and that would then be a child study team evaluation, or as we call it, the CST eval. And so with all of that, it is highly individualized, and it should be highly individualized, and everyone needs to be on board. And by the way, and if I'm missing a point, jump in, please. And by the way, sometimes schools will take the initiative and we look at that child and say, you know, we really need to get the parents involved. And it may turn into a classification that comes out of all this testing. Parents do not have to agree to an IEP. As the parent, you still can say, we don't want it. We don't want any services. We want our child to remain without an IEP, without anything more specialized than what is happening in the classroom and with that program. So I just wanted to point that out as well.
Now, how do you think you could help parents this year as we move into that virtual world and maybe the IEPs are calling for things that might not be available online?
Well, I'll say this much. First of all, know what that IEP says, folks. Know what it says. Don't just sign it. Read it. Read what the related services should be, such as speech language, counseling, those kinds of things, physical therapy, occupational therapy. All those things are related services, as is reading. And a lot of times you won't see reading on there, but it could be put on there. What you want to do is, first of all, know what is documented for your child on the IEP that everyone has agreed to and signed. In a virtual world, quite frankly, with a little planning and a little foresight, there is no reason on the whole virtual learning cannot go on for special ed kids. Speech pathology, for example, while you cannot, mold the child's face if you're dealing with pronunciation, you can clearly speak into the screen and say to the child, watch my mouth. Now, can you do that? So there are things you can provide. Can you provide OT and PT? Maybe not. But that's where there should be that meeting of the minds. How can we deliver this service? Can you deliver it safely in the school? If there's virtual learning, can we set aside a room in the school for like the 20-minute or whatever is prescribed in there? You have to think out of the box. It is hard, and I want to say it would be much easier for everyone to be in that room even, but that may not be practical because look at the numbers. In New Jersey we're doing okay, but overall we still aren't where we'd like to be. So it takes, I think, just a little bit of calm. Let's see what the IEP says. And it's my opinion, and I've been doing it. I've been doing it with some of my private practice kids who do have IEPs. We have done virtual. It takes planning. That's all it takes. And so I know people are concerned about the virtual, but I would invite them. They can go on my website for free. Ask me any questions, send me the question, I'll get back to you. This is how you can do it.
What's your website?
My website is, well, if you go to Bridgewater Lifestyle and you see my ad, you'll know what it is. But it is Bonni or Kole, KOLE.com.
That's pretty easy
That's
website.
easy. Yeah. It's very easy, and and you will see a video from me saying, I get it. If, reach out to your district, reach out to your schools. If you're still not sure, if you still have questions, literally email me, and I get back. I'm 24/7.
What's a sign that a parent might want to reach out to an educational advocate?
Okay, if a child, there's all kinds of signs, and there's no one set pattern. But here are some things, little red flags. If your child is suddenly withdrawn, is there bullying going on? Is there intimidation going on? Is something not right, and suddenly you see a change in your child? I've got a stomachache, I don't want to go to school. Finding every reason not to go. That might be a sign. Those are the easier signs. And then there's the signs with looking at the work. Does your child squirm, kind of do the eye thing, fidget? Something's not right. Sometimes it's social emotional, sometimes it's cognitive, but what I say, and I say to everyone, Tiffany, all children can learn, and nothing is insurmountable. And so you look for changes of behavior, and also, parents, be present. I don't mean being a helicopter. Do we know what we mean by helicopter?
I spent 13 years as a guidance counselor,
So
so
you
I
know.
know what a helicopter parent
Okay.
is, but maybe explain that for our
Okay, and now I
viewers.
understand there's another one called lawnmower. So if you're helicopter, I'm not kidding, I just heard lawnmower. Helicopter, think of a helicopter and you just keep circling and circling the area to keep watching from a helicopter. Lawnmower, you come into the school and boom, like a lawnmower, you go through as a parent and say, I want what I want, and why is my kid doing this one? It's not really that helpful. There's an easier way to advocate for your child. Keep your calm. If there's a guidance counselor, even in elementary schools, we have guidance counselors, which was something that came in about 15, 20 years ago. Reach out to a guidance counselor. Reach out to the principal if there's a vice principal. Or if there's a teacher that your child talks about and loves or really feels comfortable, pick up the phone. A phone? Nobody picks up the phone. I'm sorry, email. Email. I'm old. I would pick up the phone, but you can email and say, hey, do you have a minute? You can find out what's going on. And conversely, if a teacher sees bullying or sees something wrong, it is an expectation that that teacher should at least send an email. Dear Mrs. Smith, this is what I saw today with your child. Why don't you talk to him or her tonight? Find out. You have to work together. I've always said it's triangular. It's the student, it's the home, it's the school. Can't be done in isolation.
And what is the process like when a parent comes to you for help?
Okay, the first thing we do an intake. We do a 15-minute, what's your problem? And that is free of charge. To 15 minutes, so let's just get a sense of it. I hear what the problem is. Sometimes there's an easy fix, and I say, hey, why don't you try this? If this doesn't work, get back to me, and then we can go further. But there's always an intake, and the questions can vary because no two children are alike, no two situations are alike. So I let the parents talk, and I take some notes, I ask a few questions, and it could be an easy solution. It might be a little bit more difficult. And the other thing I want to say, Tiffany, sometimes people get very, very worried about the cost. What I can say is that I listen to the whole picture of a family, and I work with them. So I don't want any child or family to get all nervous that they can't afford. Talk to me. You'll never find a price. Never find a price on my website. And it's because everyone's situation is different. If you can afford my full fee, great. If you can't, it's okay, and I'm not going to pry. But I want people to know you can come to me. It's hard times out there. Your kids are really not getting the real experience of school. Parents are working from home. This is not a normal time. And so I am here because what's most important is I don't want stressed parents, and I want successful
Stressed
kids.
parents? There's no stressed parents right now.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, it's
I'm
funny,
not stressed
not
at all.
stressed. And the funny part is, I walk with you. I really, truly walk with you as a family, being respectful of boundaries. You'll never see me helicoptering my parents, but I'm here for them. And it doesn't stop at 5 in the afternoon. I've taken calls, I'm telling you, just about 24/7. It's that important. It's that important.
And you also provide literary services, right?
Yes, I do. I'm a certified reading specialist. And what we do, certified reading specialist has advanced training in developmental reading. They do hold a master's in that area of training. And what we do is testing, not just leveling a child to say, oh, your child reads on a 5th grade level. What does that really mean? I've got kids who are reading 5th grade level. They can't tell me what they read. They see the words, but they don't know. It's comprehension. So if there's a struggle, you come to me. The first thing I would do would be a basic reading inventory to do a leveling of sight words and comprehension. And from there, 9 times out of 10, we don't even have to go to a diagnostic battery of testing, because I know what to do, and I write a prescriptive, and we call them prescriptives, specifically for your child, because no two people on the whole earth read the same way. And to read means to make meaning from text, and both of us could read those questions, and the way we make meaning from it, I guarantee if we were to sit there, how did we comprehend? We will find differences in the way we approach the written word. So that's what I do. I also do, if need be, I can do on-site visits, observations, and I've done that with the cooperation of the schools. Again, I know the rules of the road, so they welcome me in, and that's important. And so my goal, everyone needs to be literate, whatever that means. And also, I just want to say, I'm a big believer in UDL, Universal Design and Learning, which means if a child can't understand initially the printed word, but they can show what they know in drawing a picture or explaining, we want them to access the learning how it's easiest for them, and then we build out from there. I can tell you, I have a student, we're working on the words on a page, but I'm going to tell you something. This youngster, comprehension, when you present it in a different way, unbelievable comprehension. And we work from the strengths. We don't work from the weaknesses. We harness the strengths. Everything is possible.
Is there anything else you'd like our viewers out there in Facebook land
Facebook
to know
land?
right now?
Well, listen, I hate to say it, I'm kind of like a one-stop shop. After you've done everything that I've done in education, and I don't want to sound bragging at all, but that kind of is like the story of my professional life. If you have a question, if you think your child needs tutoring, if I can't help you, I can put you in the direction of people who could. Sometimes it's a simple fix, sometimes it's not. But the one thing, remember, and I have to say this because there was a time I did teach at Bridgewater Middle School. I was a middle school language arts teacher. They loved my homework policy. After 20 or 25 minutes, if you're all stressed, put it away. So the kids were like, oh, this is great, I don't have to do my homework. I said, yeah, but you need to come to me with a question. What specifically couldn't you get last night? Because I don't want parents getting stressed, and you know homework can be the worst time of the day. No one should be stressed because learning should be about discovery. And I hate to say it, but it sounds kind of like very naive, but it's an exploration. It really is a wonderful journey. And everybody needs to learn what they do best and how they get knowledge so that they can appreciate, like, really, this wonderful world. And in spite of everything, look at how beautiful it is today. And I hope there's more of it. And I want to be a part of the help, the healing, not the stress and the frustration. I don't want to be a part of that. I want to be part of the solution. And I want the kids to really thrive.
Well, you're very inspiring, and we are definitely sitting here on like the nicest day we have had in a long time. This is some beautiful weather, and we're at Duke Island Park, and this beautiful playground is now open. It was not that long ago when we'd come here to ride our bikes, and it was all taped off. So we are moving in a good direction.
We're getting there, Tiffany. We're getting there.
Yeah, but thank you so much. This is Bonni Kole, educational advocate.
Yep.
And if you're interested in learning about her services or asking questions, like you said, a free 15-minute intake, you could go to her website, BonniRKole.com.
And it's Kole with a K. That's
Kole with a K.
Yep.
BonniRKole.com.
And any questions, they can email me. It's right there on the website, and I will answer them.
And parents, feel free to reach out.
Yep.
I'm a parent myself. I know the stress going into this school year. It's a little bit different. So definitely utilize services like Bonnie's and reach out if you've got any questions. So signing off from Bridgewater Lifestyle and Bonni Kole, educational advocate. Have a good weekend, everyone. Enjoy your Labor Day.
Absolutely.